Local 4 News starts now with a breaking news alert.
We start with breaking news. In Detroit's Greektown, there is a very large police presence in the area. We're on the scene trying to learn more about what's going on. Let's go to Larry Spruill. He is there right now. Larry, what can you tell us?
Well, Karen, there has been a constant flow of police officers outside here at the Greektown Hotel and Casino. I just want to show you what we are seeing right now. You can see several police cars parked in front of the hotel. But when we first got here about 30 minutes ago, that tactical van right across the street was full of police officers. They got out of the van and went inside the hotel through those brown doors. Now, I have spoken to police DPD several times today, and they are not confirming any information whatsoever, but we do know there is some type of situation going on inside. Let's take a look at new video just into our newsroom. You can see that video where it shows that they are taking two dogs, canine dogs, outside of the van and walking them inside the Greektown Casino Hotel as well. So that further confirms to us there is some type of emergency situation going on inside the Greektown Casino. Police officers have been driving by, several police officers walking that hotel as well. We also saw FBI officers here on the scene as well. But once again, DPD is not releasing any information to us about what's going on. They're just telling us it's some type of situation. But we are told that we're supposed to get information, but that was about an hour ago. Have not heard back from DPD since then, but we will continue to call, work our sources, find out what's going on. We are going to stay here on the scene, and I'll have another update as soon as more information becomes available. We're live in downtown. Larry Spruill, Local 4. Back to you, Karen.
Larry, was anyone coming outside of the casino talking about what they saw that may have been going on inside there?
Yeah, so I spoke to a valet person. A valet person came to us and she says that there are a lot of officers in the lobby area. Some are going upstairs to the hotel. That's where the blue glass, that is the hotel portion of the Greektown Casino. But she did not say or did not know why they were here, why they were going inside the hotel up to the floor. She says there's just a lot of commotion going on. That's why I did reach out to DPD several times, but they are not confirming any information either. So we were just waiting and seeing at this point. Karen?
All right, we'll see if some folks inside the hotel might tell us as well. All right, thank you, Larry. We'll check back with you later as you get more information and see you tonight at 5. In other news, the St. Clair County Sheriff's Office investigating a death after a car plunged into the St. Clair River. The car broke through a fence and then went into the river in Marysville shortly after 6 o'clock this morning. Dive teams eventually located that vehicle and a body. That person has not been identified, pending notification of their family. Right now, it's not clear why the car ended up in the river. We'll keep you posted. It's a wake-up call, and Detroit city leaders need to listen. That was the message today when council leaders were presented with the proposed Detroit River Protection Ordinance. The morning started with environmental and community groups rallying in support of that ordinance. Their concerns given a greater impetus by our Local 4 Defender investigations exposing the recent spill of suspected contaminated soils along the riverfront and the lack of oversight. Supporters say the ordinance will do what state and federal agencies cannot provide.
Every entity operating on the waterfront will have to get an annual permit from the city of Detroit, which has been a gap at the state and federal level. It will require seawall inspections, which again is a gap at the state and federal level. Too often we have to rely on EGLE and the EPA to make sure that our communities are safe, and we know that is simply insufficient for us.
While the ordinance is being presented today, it may take months before it is reviewed and brought up for a city council vote. Tonight at 6, the defenders dig deeper into this ongoing issue. I'm going to update you on the inspections of other seawalls along the river. Revere Dock finally did pay its drainage bill of $43 grand. We'll take a closer look at that. And I'm going to show you what Revere Dock told the city it would do when they purchased the property and why the city isn't holding them accountable. That's all new tonight at 6. The dog mauling deaths of 2 Detroit children in recent years prompted the Detroit City Council to toughen the city's dangerous dog ordinance today. Among other things, the ordinance empowers animal control officers to follow up with animal owners. It creates new classifications for dogs, including nuisance, potentially dangerous, and vicious animals. And a new reckless owner classification helps identify dog owners with repeated violations. Our winter of ups and downs is headed for another temperature dip. Ben Bailey tracking a new Arctic front. How cold is it going to get?
Yeah, temperatures are going to take a dip, Karen, which surprisingly enough, we've got a lot of sunshine in the forecast, and we're starting to see some of that even this afternoon. But numbers are in the upper 30s, wind chills making it feel like it is below freezing. And we will see temperatures continue to go downward, at least in the short term. Plus, we're tracking some lake effect snow, at least in spots tonight. That's going to be the last precipitation we see this week. Temps take a dive there, especially Wednesday and Thursday, and the weekend is definitely worth waiting for. We'll run it down for you in a few minutes. Karen?
We do have some breaking news as President Trump has gone on a clemency blitz, helping several people convicted of crimes, including a former Democratic governor. Let's go to Devin Skillion for the latest. And Devin, the president was very busy today.
Certainly was, Karen. Overall, he gave some form of executive clemency to 11 people today, and most notably, as Karen mentioned, Rod Blagojevich, the former governor of Illinois, convicted of political corruption. Today, President Trump commuted the Democrats' 14-year sentence. You'll recall some of the background. Perhaps Blagojevich was found guilty of crimes that included trying to sell an appointment to the Illinois Senate seat. In fact, it was the one that was vacated by Barack Obama when he became president. Blagojevich was also convicted of trying to shake down a children's hospital. President Trump has long tweeted his belief that Blagojevich was treated unfairly and that his sentence was too harsh. Here's what the president had to say today.
I met him a couple of times. He was on for a short while of The Apprentice years ago. Seemed like a very nice person. Don't know him, but he served 8 years in jail. There's a long time to go. Many people disagree with the sentence. He's a Democrat. He's not a Republican. It was a prosecution by the same people, Comey, Fitzpatrick, the same group.
The president also pardoned former New York Police Commissioner Bernard Carrick, who pleaded guilty to tax fraud and lying to the government, and he pardoned former junk bond king Michael Milken and Edward DeBartolo Jr., who's the former owner of the San Francisco 49ers. Much more reaction to come, Karen. Back to you for now.
All right, we'll see you at 5. The miracle of organ transplants is always something special to see, especially when total strangers come together to save lives. Today, we have a story of a so-called chain donation that brought 4 people together to celebrate. We invited our Paula Tutman, who joins us with their story. Hi, Paula.
Hi, Karen. Yeah, and I think that's the amazing thing about this story, because it's not that kidney donation is so rare anymore, but it's the trigger, the thing that happened that brought all of these people together, and we were there as 2 of them met in person for the very first time, and it was magical.
That's him. Could spot him anywhere. Great to meet you. Great to meet you, yeah.
Until just a few moments ago, David only knew Yuri from a few phone conversations, an exchange of photos, and that deep feeling of gratitude from very deep inside his body, where Yuri's kidney has been working its magic for the last 6 weeks.
To be together, it's very special.
The 2 met in person today at University of Michigan Hospital for lunch and had an opportunity to marvel in the amazing confluence of signs and conversations that brought them together in a life-saving gift from Yuri to David. Yuri, a construction project manager in Toledo, was leaving work one day and noticed a female coworker he'd never met before crying.
And I said, why are you crying? And she's like, well, I'm dying and I need a kidney. It's like, what do you say to that? I really honestly didn't know what to say. My response to her was, I'm praying for you.
It just so happens that coworker Bethany had been gifted large billboards that said, can you save a life? And Yuri saw them everywhere he went, and he saw them as signs from God.
I come out to my construction project, and what is directly above my project but one of these billboards?
119 miles north, David was surviving dialysis 3 days a week, 6 hours at a time, desperately needing a kidney. Now, his daughter Leah wanted to donate hers, but she was not a match. In Toledo, Yuri found out that he was not a match for Bethany, but because he had entered into the kidney paired donation program. It's almost like a club, right?
Yeah, exactly. You have 2 people at one club that would love to work together and 2 people at another club that would love to work together, but they're incompatible. But when you match those 2 people up, you can have a wonderful thing happen in 2 kidney transplants at once.
Within a day, he found out he was a match for David. David's daughter found out she was a match for someone else in another state. And when all was said and done, a total of 4 live kidney donations between 8 strangers had taken place And the first two in this incredible organ donation chain today met as blood brothers.
This is like a miracle story.
You know, it really is a miracle story, just in all of these coincidences and signs that kept popping up, too many to mention. Anytime you have strangers who are willing to donate their organs to other strangers, there is a story there. But you have to ask the question, how are you different having done so? And so follow us at 6. We continue the story where both men explain what has changed with them since this miraculous surgery.
Oh, Paula, you put goodness out in the world and it definitely comes back to you. We look forward to your report at 6. Still ahead, you've probably heard the saying crime doesn't pay, but one man disagreed, but it's not working out too well for him. We have the viral photo to prove it. But first, here's Dr. McGeorge.
Well, Karen, we're going to talk about fighting obesity. New research shows one thing parents can do that might help kids avoid weight gain. Also, the truth about runners revealed, what most of them say about running that might surprise you. That's next in Good Health.
Breaking in Detroit, we're following a police situation at GREEKTOWN Casino. The FBI and police have responded to the scene. We've also seen police dogs go into the building, working to find out what caused the police response. We'll update this story on air and online at clickondetroit.com as we learn more.